Hello, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite Pokemon, or to be fair, my favorite Pokemon in the Go Battle League. Today, we're going to take a look at Greninja, but we're going to take a look at this Pokemon in a cup full of Charmers, which doesn't really make too much sense if you think about it, but honestly, there are so many targets for Greninja, and I climbed up to my highest elo for the season here today. You're going to see it as well, going to put me definitely very high on the leaderboards as well. This team was amazing, Greninja was amazing, and here's one thing about Greninja, nothing can take a hit. Like, literally nothing can take a hit. Like, all of the Pokemon that we have here are going to be basically weak against Greninja. Like, every single Pokemon in this cup is really weak to this Pokemon. As soon as you have some energy advantage on this thing, it's basically steamrolls through opponents, which we had quite often here today as well. The opponent's running actually a Lostheart here, which is an interesting Pokemon, a Pokemon they rarely really see, and a Pokemon that's going to have access to Charm, which we can now utilize our Slowbro against. Of course, for all the Charmers, we have the Slowbro. Slowbro is the best answer to any Charmer in the current meta. This Pokemon is very good, very nice TV played as well. With all of the coverage that we have, this Pokemon has just so much going for it. And as we can see here, I got over in the back. Is not going to enjoy this gold here for sure. This is going to be enough to knock them out. And we can move on to team number 2. Or more like battle number 2 to be fair, but let's take a look on how this is going to go. We're going to have the Drapion in the lead against us. Well, let's see, we're going to try our Hydro Cannons out. Let's see if that's going to go out great for us, or we will still the Hydro Cannon is going to be able to get the shield from the opponent. Here's a matchup that I think actually Greninja is always going to be able to win in neutral scenarios, but I just don't really like shielding up Crunches and Awkward Tails on a Water and Dark type Pokemon. But of course the Poison thing is just ending up after the recent change to it, getting more damage boost from the Poison Sting, making it a little bit of an awkward matchup for Greninja. But as you will see here, we're always kind of baiting out the Claydol. That's why we have Water type coverage as well on our Qwilfish. And in this case, we're also going to be able to go for the Ice Beam, which does a little bit more damage, allowing us to two-shot the opponent here, which is really important to keep alignment. They go into the Drapion, and we're going to be able to let the move go through, forcing them to go for an Awkward Tail, forcing them to use some of their energy. And with this, we should be able to use a shield here against the opponent. We would also be able to still survive a move, most likely. Never mind, it's a Sludge Bomb coming through from the opponent. They're swapping out now into the Mandibuzz. And I have my Slowbro, but this is not looking too good for us. Mandibuzz is something where we have to align our other two Pokemon. Slowbro is not a great matchup here at all. Foul Play is coming through. We can still go for a Scald. And I don't think I got a single Scald debuff with my Slowbro. Well, let's see here. Yeah, we don't. And this is sadly also not... Oh, is it? Is it in range for the Hydro Cannon? Let's find out here. It is maybe even in range for the Hydro Cannon. Maybe this game is not over yet. Is Greninja able to still win this battle here? We will find out shortly. Can we still get to a move here? The opponent can still go for another charge move with the Drapion. And this is sadly going to not knock us out yet, but we are not getting to another move, and so we're gonna lose this battle. Next opponent, we're going to have a very decent lead here with the Drapion. We can go for Hydro Cannon against the opponent here as well. This will do a lot of damage if it's going to connect here. As we will see, it does connect, and with this, we're going to get definitely some solid damage onto the opponent. Let's see what's going to happen next. We let the move go through. It's going to be a Crunch, and they are swapping into the Gardevoir. We have our hard answer, and they decided to forfeit, which allows us to move into the battle number 4 here. We are going to have 10 battles in total. We have 2 sets played with this team here, and this team definitely worked out quite well for us. A lot of times, I have to kind of utilize the Slowbro a little bit better, a little bit faster. Like, a lot of times I'm just a little bit curious on what I want to redo in certain scenarios. Again, that's something that is going to be better for you if you're going to copy a team and just play it for like a day or two. You're going to be able to get those matchup in a little bit better than I can do, because, yeah, you see 2 videos a day. I do most of my battles on my own there, like on my account. And yeah, if you want to send in some battles though, there's always a link in the description if you want to have, like, if you have some interesting battles as well, would really appreciate it. But as you will see here, the opponent is going to have a Gardevoir in the back. Against double charm teams, this team actually going to work out quite well. And that's the thing as well, which I kind of feel like is bothering about the current meta here. Unless you're going to build against double charm, it's an instant loss if you don't really directly build against this team. Like, if you don't really have like 2 poison type Pokemon in the back, you're kind of screwed up in this current meta, which is a little bit tricky for a lot of people, I think, to deal with as well for the Willpower Cup. But as you will see, we're still going to be able to win this battle easily with our Greninja, as the opponent gonna go down to this Hydro Cannon, and we can move on to the next opponent. Let's see who we have next. We're going to see here the Greninja against Annihilate. Very bad lead for us, so we swap out straight away into our swap of the Qwilfish, which is not way better. Annihilate is a little bit of a trickier Pokemon for us to deal with, But let's see how this is gonna go. We're gonna be able to go for the Aqua Tail, do some very solid damage against the opponent, and we're gonna use let's see, do we use a shield? We do not use shield. It's going to be a Rage Fist, so luckily we didn't go for a shield here, and I can go for the Ice Beam here, doing a little bit more damage, as I'm going to try to go for the full farm down. This is going to now connect, get the shield here actually, which is a bit weird, because now we have to go for the Brutal Swings here and hope for the best with our Slowbro. Slowbro is going to do resisted fast move damage, while the opponent does double resisted fast move damage, which is also very decent for us. The Brutal Swing is coming through. We're going to be able to get the final shield from the opponent, but they're also going to get my final shield in return, because one Rage Fist would basically one-shot this Pokemon easily. We can still overfarm here as well. As they're gonna go into the Heterine, we're gonna see here what Slowbro actually can do, and like this is kind of showcasing as well how strong Slowbro really is, as we will see Heterine coming in. They swap back into the Annihilate. We are going to be able to go for a Brutal Swing, which is going to allow us to now knock them out as well. And in the back it's going to be another God of War, which we're gonna be able to also win against, and we can move on to the next opponent. So Slowbro in this case kind of nearly, went through the opponent on its own, which is kind of hilarious. But anyway, let's take a look at the next opponent here. We're going to see the, Hydrokin coming through against the opponent's Quillfish. We're going to swap out into our own Quillfish. This is going to be definitely a fine matchup for us. And as we will see as well, Aqua Tail is coming through. We're going to be able to go for another charge move against the opponent. It is going to be our own Aqua Tail. It should be able to knock them out here. And we have still the same amount of shields. We're going to have the Claydol now aligned against an Aqua Tail user. I show went for the Ice Beam here. I show went for the Ice Beam here for sure. Aqua Tail does not really make too much sense. I would have been able to definitely reach the Ice Beam, but I'll try to go for double Aqua Tail. Definitely a misplay. If I went for Ice Beam, they would have been a little bit below half health, maybe going to allow me to farm them down in like certain scenarios. But as we will see here, we're going to have the Morpeko against us, and I can just let the moves go through. I don't really care too much about this thing here on my Slowbro. As we will see here, we have the bulk to definitely survive a move as well. And at this point, they are kind of forced to go ahead and go for the Aura Wheel in order to knock me out, which is kind of great. Of course, Aura Wheel is now going to be super effective, but also we are going to be able to use a shield here if we want to. Go for a Brutal Swing, force the final shield from the opponent, and we still have energy stored on our Greninja. And thanks to all of the charge moves here, the time is nearly up to swap out of here. We're going to try to do this basically immediately here now as well. Go for the Night Slash, knock out the opponent. This is going to be easily enough to knock them out, and it should be also allowing us to win the battle, especially with the boost here. Next opponent, we're going to have the Drapion against us in the lead. That's going to be, again, a very solid matchup for us. We can just play this one out. I'm not too worried about it. Let's see on how this is going to go for us. It's going to be Hydrokin coming through. You're going to be able to get them quite low. We have the opponent going for their own Crunch, getting me a bit lower. And here comes the Radicate. Purified Radicate can be a little bit of a trickier Pokemon to deal with. This Pokemon has access to the move return, of course. Being a stab, doing quite a lot of damage as well. We have to be a little bit mindful of this one. Like a return would most likely one-shot us from even this range here. So always be a bit careful in this scenario here. As we will see, the opponent is going to be able to go for a charge move. It is going to be that Crunch, and we are using a shield on a move that we should have definitely not used a shield against. But what we're going to do next is we're going to use another charge move, get them low, but sadly not low enough. The opponent is actually going to be able to still survive this move and still going to be able to go for charge move here. We're now one shield down, and sadly the opponent is going to reveal the Sableye in the back, which is a little bit tricky for us, but honestly I make a big mistake. I should just went straight for the Aqua Tail here, because Foul Play still survive, and they were not yet at the Rock type move here, and so this was definitely a mistake by me, definitely something I could have played better, and definitely something I should have played better here as well. While I still get to another move, the game is kind of over at this point anyway already. We still get the shield from the opponent. They're going to be able to farm me down. In comes our Slowbro, which has to take a hit, and this is just going to put us a little bit too low. As we will see here, the opponent is going to be able to go for another charge move. We're going to try our best here, and as we'll see, the Foul Play is going to connect, knock us out. We can move on to the next opponent. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have the God of War in the lead. Horrible lead for us. Claydol is coming in. We're going to try to, of course, utilize here the coverage that we have on our Pokemon. I'm not too sure how good this is going to be actually for us, But as we will see, we're going to be able to still go for another Ice Beam. This is going to be enough to get the knockout if they would let the move go through, which they don't do in this case. We're going to have to use our lead again. Our Greninja is coming back in here, and let's see if the Greninja has enough to knock out the opponent here. The Scorching Sense comes in here. I'm going to try to overfarm. We have some lag there. This is something that definitely happened quite often to me as well, where I just had frame dubs where I get free, basically my own fast moves in, even though I want to go for charge moves, which can be a little bit annoying, because in a lot of cases it just allows the opponent to have a huge advantage with it. Here, we can still go for the Night Surge. We still have the shield from the opponent's part. We have to get rid of that final shield, but as they go to reveal that they have the Mandibuzz in the back, there's no way we're going to be able to get the shield from this Pokemon, and so sadly it's going to be another loss here, as the Mandibuzz is just a little bit too strong to counter us down. As we're going to see here now, the Foul Play coming through. It's actually, yeah, it's going to be the Foul Play that's going to be enough to put us into farmland range. We can still go for a Scald, but yeah, they should be able to still survive this move anyway, which they do, and so I'm sadly going to lose this battle, as I'm forced to go for the full farmland, but I'm also forced to knock out the opponent's Gardevoir still. And as we will go for the bait here, the opponent still got the free fast move through, allowing them to knock us out. We can move on to the second to last battle for today. This is going to be an interesting one. We're going to see the Mandibuzz in the lead. Here's like one big issue about Greninja, by the way. On PvPoke, it kind of says that this Pokemon beats Mandibuzz, of course, but this is Snarl Mandibuzz. We are not running Snarl Mandibuzz here. On the opponent's part, it's always going to be Air Slash Mandibuzz, which makes more sense in the cup that we are currently playing. But I don't know why PvPoke still says Snarl, but yeah, Snarl is not ideal on this Pokemon, making it a little bit of a tricky scenario though, because it is not as ideal as PvPoke says. So here we will see the Ice Beam coming through. It is going to allow us to get the shield from the opponent, which is not ideal. I rather would have got the shield with just an Awkward Tail. But it's okay, shield is shield, we're gonna let the move go through, Awkward Tail going to knock us out, and we can go back into our Greninja, just going straight for the Hydro Cannon, which will be enough to knock them out, guaranteed here. It is going to be enough to get the knockout, and we can move on now to whatever Pokemon they're gonna send in next. It is going to be the Mandibuzz again, which is actually quite decent for us. We decided to use our shield here against the Aerodace, and we can go for our own Hydro Cannon in order to try to get the knockout against the opponent. This is going to, of course, only do half of the health that is left, but we can still go for another one. We have to pray here, basically, that this is going to be enough to get the KO. It is enough, which is really good. And now in the back there's going to be a Quillfish, and this is very difficult, but it is not impossible to win, and I'm fairly certain we're actually going to be in a very solid spot. We decided to use a shield just in case there is a Dark type move on this Pokemon. Can be, of course, the case. It is not the case here, though. And so we're going to be in a very solid spot, as Scout's going to now connect against the opponent, getting them very, very low. And we can go for the full farm now, as the opponent kind of gave up already at this point anyway. As they let the move go through, we're going to be able to now move on to the final battle, which is going to be against another Mandibuzz. Of course, we're going to stay in here. Of course, we kind of want to play this one out, but it's honestly a very, very difficult matchup compared to if it were going to be the Snarl one, which you see usually in the Go Battle League. Here, Air is definitely going to be way, way better, but also the one issue about the matchup of Greninja against the Mandibuzz, they just barely survive in a health range where you don't really want to go for another charge move because it's so low, but also it is so enough still for the opponent to still go for some fast charge moves, which is really annoying, which you see exactly here. And so this matchup can be a bit of a trickier one. We see that we're gonna be able to go 2 shields down here, which is a great thing for us, of course. Not really. We're gonna go for the Night Slash, get no boost, but we had at least still a little bit of energy left on our Pokemon. But it is not really looking too good for us in the final battle. Awkward Tail is going to connect against us. We can still go for our own Awkward Tail, and they don't knock us out with the next one, so at least we're going to be able to still get another one off afterwards. Let's see on how this is going to go. The opponent is going to be able to go for their own charge move. It is going to be, again, another Awkward Tail. We still should be able to survive, and with this, we can go for our own Awkward Tail as well here. This is going to be enough to get the shield of the opponent, not the knockout. I have to hope that somehow I'm going to be able to win this with Greninja. We gotta go for the Night Slash, which is not going to be enough to knock them out, but it's still going to be very solid for us to have a little bit of damage. And they swap out, we swap out, and it's like a little bit of a tough one here. We have to hope that basically Scald is going to put them into a range where we can fully farm them down, otherwise we don't really have a chance. We also would really appreciate like a debuff onto them. But as we will see here, they're going to have a CMP type. It's going to be another Awkward Tail. So in form of fast moves, the opponent is going to be able to go for the next Awkward Tail as well. And so we decide to go for the Scald. And it's actually going to do a lot of damage, but just barely not enough damage for us. They're going to be able to knock us out. Now it's all down to Greninja, which has basically no health left. And yeah, this is going to be it for this video. We're gonna see the Mandibuzz coming in. We try our best to farm them down. It doesn't work out. And so that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, I would really appreciate if you would leave a like and subscribe. And as you can see here, I got quite decently high with this team. And so yeah, well, let's move on and see you then. Bye bye.